All right, let's start. Hello, assalamu alaikum. My name is Ahmed Khan. I'm the CEO at Social Champ. This is my fourth startup. 3 startups did not work out. I also ran a software consulting business. I'm here to share some mistakes that I did that you shouldn't be doing. And hopefully, I'll help you save some of your black hairs turning silver, right? So these are just 10 minutes. I'll try to give the best I can. So let me go back to where it all started. So I grew up in Qatar, had early education in an Indian school. I was on a path to become a doctor. Why? Because at that time, students who got good grades were told to become doctors, and others could be computer science graduates. So I was on that route, and something happened. We had to move to Pakistan, and it was a shift entirely in my life. That time was short. I had to join school, and people told me to join computer science because you'll get good grades. So I chose computer science because it was nature who told me to choose computer science. And at that time, I put a lot of my, the change that happened from living a life good and coming back to Pakistan. My dad was having health issues. I chose that energy, put that onto, poems. I started writing poetry. I wrote 30 plus poems at that time, magazines. Luckily, they got into international magazines. And those were the little joys I had at that time. It was tough time, and moving forward, I was lucky to join Karachi University. I somehow got second position, but it was tough at that time. So in third year, all those who are in university right now, in third year we started competing in competitions. And we thought that we would be winning competitions, and luckily we won the first competition in N&D University. And later on, there was a competition by Nokia happening, and we were the people who got first in that competition. Now, in that competition, there was a training that was happening, and I was selected for that training. In that training, having a laptop was mandatory. Now, at that time, we didn't have a laptop. So I remember my father had an old car, like FX. He sold that car so that I could buy a laptop. And I attended that workshop, and by attending that workshop, I became Nokia Developer Champion. I was representing Nokia internationally in Pakistan. I did a lot of evangelism in Pakistan. And in third year, we decided that we need to open a service company, right? And that's how in the third year of university, 12 friends got together. We said we're going to open a freelance company, and we gave the name Ozil Systems. My chairman of that department bought me the domain because at that time we didn't have the credit card. So he bought the domain. We started working, and we shut Ozil Systems. And this was the company that was bootstrapping my startup ideas. So when I say that I failed in 3 startups, it was not that I had a lot of money. It was all bootstrapped through Ozil Systems. We shut Ozil Systems in 2019 when we got our first funding, right? So now coming to the startups. The first startup that we tried was called GamoChat. Now GamoChat was a gaming platform. At that time there was Windows 8. So there was Windows 8. We made this app on Windows 8, iPhone, Android, web, right? And this application won Imagine Cup, National Imagine Cup in Pakistan, won a lot of competitions. So startups winning awards does not necessarily mean they are successful, right? So we got a lot of competitions. We got lucky to be incubated at Lumps University with this idea, but we didn't choose to get incubated. Now the lesson we learned in this startup was that create MVP fast. MVP is called a minimal viable product. The mistake we did was that we took a lot of time in developing this startup. It took us 3 years to make this function working. We made 4 apps, 4 games within this platform so people could play. We tried to perfect the Android app, the iOS app, the web app. We thought we'll have billions of users and we'll make millions of money, right? And we didn't even launch this app. It's just the videos there on YouTube. So the lesson here learned was make MVP faster. So all those startups who are trying to start right now, what is the core idea of your big vision? Take that out, deploy it, publish it. Don't think about the name. Don't think about the domain name. Just put it in the hands of the users and see how it's going to happen. Second startup, educating dreams. This was a startup idea where I was waiting for the bus in Karachi University. A young small guy comes to me, asks for money, and he tells me that, "Sahab, paise de dein." And I said, "Okay, why don't you study?" And he says to me that, "Sahab, padhai to ameeron ke liye hoti hai." And at that time, I was like, I'm not that rich, right? And I knew there were schools out there who actually could help those kids. So I made a platform where there could be NGOs and these kids onto one platform, and they can help and locate these people. Now, I created this app, won again a lot of Sony Ericsson competitions, and I talked to one big NGO. They told us that they're not going to pick one student at a time. They actually open schools. So I said, yeah, I'm going to put a map, and then anybody who reports, you can create a school over there. They agreed to this. Once I created this product, I went back, and now they said that we want to be exclusively on this app. This means that only we would be using this app and nobody else. So I thought that, in a country where two ambulance services cannot collaborate, when the mission is to save life, here's a monopoly of NGOs who want to be there and they don't want others to be working with them. So I thought, when I get rich and famous, I'll come back to this. I can't fight the monopoly right now. It's too tough for me to fight. Third, Reminds app. It was a notification-based app. It was the part of the first batch at the Nest.io, which was run by Jahara. And it was a great app. We launched this app. We took a survey. So in this app, we took validation before coding. We always heard this talks that, whenever you have an idea, take validation, do a survey, see if people want to use the app or not. So we did that. We asked 100 strangers that if they want to use this app or not. Now, what happened? 70% said we want to use this project, use this idea, use this product. 40–50% said we'll be willing to pay to use this product. And I was like, you know what? It's the jackpot. Anybody 50%, more than 50% people willing to pay for a product, even though it's not even made, it's a jackpot. We're going to be rich soon, right? So we launched the product. We did that influencer marketing campaign like all startups do, right? We bring influencers to talk and trend us on Twitter. We did that. Shouldn't be doing like a startup, but we did that because Nest.io was there. They brought all the influencers. We launched the product. We got an investment opportunity. The investor said, pivot the idea from notification-based app to an email aggregator, and I'll write you a check right now. And I was like, that's not my vision of the company. And if I say yes to this idea, then he will be directing all the features of the company. So I'll be just an employee in a company that he is paying for. So I said, no, I cannot accept the check this way. So I said, bring 5,000 unique downloads, and I will be writing you a check. I said, that's very easy. 5,000, I have so many friends. They're going to download, and I'll have unique downloads. 1 week went by, 500 downloads bhi nahi hue, right? Then I said, you know what? Downloads is a vanity metric. Let's just focus on retention. People who come back to your app, right? I said, let's just focus on that because Snapchat took 3 years, so we are just 8 months old. So, what could go wrong? So we did retention testing. We saw that we made a pool, 60% users were using in the 1 week. Then it dropped to 40%, 30, 10, 5, and then 1%. So 1%, it stopped at 1%. So I was like, we got to study this one user who's using our app every day and write a study around it. When we dig down, we found it was a guy in the office doing a QA. So nobody was using the app. And I was like, okay. So then I said, you know what went wrong with this? And I realized all the people who said yes. So the problem with us is that, we'll not try to break hearts of other people, even though if you have to lie. अगर कोई आपसे कहेगा ना कि आप लग कैसे रहे हो, आप कहोगे बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हो, और जैसे ही वो जाएगा ना बोलो कैसा कार्टून लग रहा था ये, right? We'll just fake it. We will not say the truth. I think this is what happened in our survey. Although we took from strangers, but the validation from the survey wasn't very accurate. The lesson learned was, if people are willing to pay for your product, ask for advance money. Tell them, sir, we're going to give you 90% discount, just give 1,000 rupees in advance. जब वो पैसे निकालेगा जेब से, जब वो सच्चाई बताएगा कि सर इसमें ऐसा होना चाहिए था, it should be like this, it should be like this, it should be like this, right? So whenever you do survey, if you're asking for, if it's a product where they have to pay for you, take advance money. Now, I know lunch is served. All right, so I was trying to market the third product, Reminds app. And I was reading a book, researching on marketing strategies. I read a book by Guy Kawasaki called The Art of Social Media. In that book, I read a concept to repeat your tweets multiple times. Ek tweet ko multiple times repeat karna. I loved the idea. I said, you know what? I'm going to use this idea for marketing of my third startup. I created that on a weekend. I told to my co-founder. He told me he's going to give me the back end on my birthday, which was 2 weeks later coming. It's a way of saying, yaar, mujhe time do banane ka. 2 hafte do. So we made the product. I loved the product. It was working very fine. I didn't think of a name. It was a test URL. TechJuice started using it. They loved it. So, you know, I made some connections in a big Pizza Hut franchise in Pakistan. I was trying to get onto them. I got to them, booked a demo, told them to use the product for free. कि असल आप इसको use करें, सिर्फ एक दफ़ा use कर लें. They said they'll use it. Took 7-8 follow-ups, no response, nothing happened. I was too broken. I was like, if they had used it, you know, I could have just started marketing the product. But then luckily what happened, the magic of Twitter. Guy Kawasaki tweeted once कि किसी ने मेरी किताब पढ़ी है. I replied to the tweet that I read your book, loved the idea, made a product out of it, and it was great. Guy replied me back, emailed me, we spoke on email. He loved the idea. He invited me to Silicon Valley in the United States, sponsored me a ticket to US, met multiple times, made the product, shared the product with the world, that this is the product he uses for social media marketing, and even gave first public testimonial that this is the tool he uses for his social media marketing. Now, and others started following the product. Now, Social Champ became into a company. We brought more features into it, and we published up till now 71 million posts across social media. We have a full team of 25 team members in Pakistan. We have customers usually from US, Canada, Australia, and UK. Pakistan is an emerging country, so we have 1-2% customers from here. And we are backed by investors, Oman Technology Fund, angel investor in Pakistan, there's a group, and recently Techstars Toronto, we were part of that investor VC fund. The long-term vision of the company is to have an ecosystem where SMBs and agencies could join the platform, use the power of automation, and we help them grow on digital media, which there are like 9 different social media platforms, and everything you can manage from Social Champ. We also launched Your Champ, which is a digital card. So it's one place where you can add your social links and you can see your entire social reach. Let's say 1.9 millions you have. You could say it's a link tree, but on steroids. One more thing before I end the talk. In my entire founder story, there's one person who impacted a lot. That person acted like a catalyst, and the person is Zahara. And it's not because she invited me to speak over here. There are some stories that I missed, right? So the first time Guy Kawasaki invited me to Silicon Valley, I had to get a US visa. I was single, Khan, visa rejected, right? I emailed Jahan that Jahan, I got rejected. Jahan was in a Dubai airport waiting for a flight. She wrote a big email to US consulate that I watch he's going to come back, and if you're not going to sponsor, give him the visa. What's the point of Nest.io being partnered with US consulate? Luckily, I got a VIP treatment. They called me, they brought me. There's a different desk for me. The lady was very kind. She asked me, why are you going to US? I said, to meet Guy. She said, no, you have to say you're going for business. I said, okay, I'm going for business. And I got the visa. So this is just one story. The first funding that I got, Oman Technology Fund, again, in a conference like this, 9-2 Disrupt, conducted by Jahara and her team. That's where investors met me first time, and that's how the conversations happened. The second investment that I got in the pandemic was also because of the conference that happened next year. So, all these people right now in this room, this is a conference, have conversations, speak to investors. This is a great moment for you to connect with investors and have genuine connections. Last thing before I leave, learn to ask for help. I know when we win competitions, we think we are big people now. If we ask for help, others will think we are low. But ask your mentors, ask investors, ask your friends to help you in the situation if you're stuck. And more importantly, ask the one who created you. We think that he understands some sort of Arabic, that he would not listen to you. But believe me, if you talk in plain Urdu, explain your situation, just ask something very crazy. It's not the job of the angels to fulfill your dreams, right? They might think, what is he asking? So 5, 6, 10 years ago, when I watched the guy Kawasaki's first video, the Art of Start, and I just watched the video in TEDx, and I said, yeah, you know what, I want to have dinner with this guy. And luckily, 5 years later, I was having dinner with Guy, with his family, met great people in this ecosystem. So connect with everybody else in this event, take advantage of these events. These are good events that are happening in country in Pakistan. Thank you so much. If you have questions, you can ask.